All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm gonna just call off who I have for roll here. If I've missed anyone, just let me know. Junior, Alexis, Cecilia, Aubrey, Elizabeth, Nick, Haley, Isabella, Jessica, Judith, Kayla, Lauren, Leslie, Lorena, Julian, Jose, Max, Nate, Peyton, Ruben, Treese, Valerie, Sarah, Brenda, Alexis, um, Alicia, Amanda, Cassandra, Stephanie, Eva, Evie, Angelina, Jasmine, Jocelyn, Catherine, Leslie, Selena, and Trija. Did I miss anyone?
Yeah, you forgot Alize.
Alize, okay.
Miss Connie, you forgot me, Miss Connie.
Lexi, I think I did get you.
And did you say Shay?
No, I didn't. Okay, I'll get you right now.
What about Deja?
No, I didn't get that either, but I will.
You also forgot me, Melissa.
Deja don't count.
Deja.
You also forgot me. My name's Natalie.
Okay, Natalie. Hi, baby Shay.
I think you forgot Vanessa.
Vanessa, I thought I did, but okay, I'll make sure.
Did you say my name? It cut off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got you.
I just got on. I'm sorry I'm late.
Okay, I'll get you on here right now, Charlene.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try this one more time, just to make sure. Junior, Alexis, Cecilia, Aubrey, Charlene, Elizabeth, Nick, Haley, Isabel, Jessica, Judith, Kayla, Lauren, Leslie, Lorena, Julian, Lugo, Max, Nate, Peyton, Ruben, Vanessa, Treese, Valerie, Saida, Shay, Brenda, Alexis, Alicia, Amanda, Cassandra, Stephanie, Eva, Evie, Angelina, Jasmine, Jocelyn, Catherine, Leslie, Selena, Trija, Alize, Deja, Melissa, and Natalie. Is that everyone?
You said Connie, you still forgot me.
So, okay. Renee.
I think you said Alexis 2 times, but I'm Alexia, so I was just wondering if.
Get it right, homegirl.
Look, there's Alexia, there's Alexis, there's Alexi.
Oh, Miss Connie, get it
Yeah,
together.
so I was like making sure you got me.
Okay, I have Alexis Alvarez, and then I have Alexis Ruiz,
Alexia Ruiz, yeah.
Alexia. Okay. And then I
Miss
have,
Connie, you still forgot me.
oh, okay.
Damn, I'm forgetting everybody, girl.
Okay, I got 3 Alexises, right? Alexia Ruiz, Alexis Alvarez, and then Lexi Ramirez.
Forgot Deja.
I got Deja. Julian, just be quiet. Okay. I think I have everyone. Let's hope. All right. So, bleach. We're talking about bleach
You
applications.
forgot Renee.
Forgot who?
Renee.
They got me. Thanks for your concern, Julian. You're so sweet.
All right, stop. Got you
All
both.
good.
Okay, got you both. Stop it. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about bleach and different hair color applications. So today I brought in a couple of things of bleach to show you. This is a extra cool blonde by Blondor, and this is a just a multi blonde. So the difference with this basically is, if we look in here, I don't know if you can see that, this is kind of, I want to spell it, kind of purplish. Actually, I'll just get a scoop out, that might make a difference. This is kind of a purplish color. And this one here is, can't really see that, but it's green. It's a greenish color inside here. It's probably hard to tell. So these both will lift the hair, but they'll do a couple different things because of the base colors that are in them and all of the differences that go with that. So with this multi-purpose blonde, multi-purpose, right? If we know our color wheel, which I don't know if we know our color wheel, but if we do, we should know that purple will cancel out yellow. So this directions here, it goes for a range of specialist lightening products, right? So what this does is it says, I can barely read it, 20, 30, or 40 volume developer mixed with a ratio of 1.5 up to 2 in a non-metallic bowl. So what this is going to do is this is going to lift the hair between 1 to like 8 levels, they claim, using a 10 or 20, 30 volume, mixed with one scoop of bleach to 1.5 scoops of developer, and it'll give you that lightening that you're looking for, hopefully. This one right here is a lightener and a toner. So because this has the greenish color in it, this is going to work really good for those people that have more of a red or an orange color that just doesn't come out of the hair as well. So by using this, what you have to be really careful with on this bleach is that when we're going to be putting it in the hair, you have to watch your timing because this green is a direct dye, and if you leave it on too long, it will sort of make the hair have a greenish cast to it. Really freaked me out the first time that I used this because I saw the hair look kind of green, and I thought, okay, this is bleach. Why is the hair turning green? And once I rinsed it off, it went away. But then I found out that if you, I froze?
Okay, you're unfroze now.
Okay, so was I looking weird? So
Very.
Okay, so because this is green and this is purplish, bluish color, the thing that I like to do is mix these two together. Once I mix these two together, it's going to cut out the orangish. This one's going to kind of help remove some of that orangish red color that, you know, people usually don't want left in their hair. And this one's going to help with the yellow. This is really good to mix them together for someone that has sort of that stubborn hair that only lifts to a certain orangish color and it just kind of stops. So for like darker hair, this would be a better combination to mix them together. And it just gives you that extra little lift, helps come out some of that unwanted tones. It doesn't make your processing time any faster, but it does make your toning time just a little bit easier. If you have to put a toner on after, if it's still not quite the right color and you need to put a toner on over that, that's going to make it look a little bit better for you. When they talk about the mixing ratios of 1.5 to 2 times, that would be like 1 scoop of bleach to 1.5 scoops of developer or 2. I like it a little bit thicker. Sometimes when it's 2, it's a little bit runnier and it doesn't like stick as much, but then if you get it too thick, there's that fine line between not thick enough and too thick, you know, so you just gotta use it to actually know. And don't pack that scoop. When you go to scoop it out, you don't pack that scoop tight. You wanna just use it normally. So what I have here is I have a 30 volume developer, okay, which is known as 9%. And what this does is it's gonna lift about 3 levels. But when I add it with the bleach, it's gonna give me a little bit more than 3 levels because the bleach is gonna diffuse that color out. So 30 volume is a good one to use because when you use developers, what happens? It opens that cuticle layer that cuticle layer opens up and you're getting that your own natural melanin is being diffused with the bleach. So sometimes if you use like a 20 volume, it might not lift enough. And if you use like a 40 volume, it might be too much. And it'll just go in there and be like, bam, and take those colors out, and then it just stops. So we want to make sure that we have the right amount of developer when we're using it. So usually with bleach, I kind of go with the 30 volume. I don't really use anything different. Okay, so if we're going to do some foil weaving, we have foils. When you're going to cut foils, don't use scissors. Don't like just cut them, because what happens is they'll stick together. So, you know, foils come out of the box. They're kind of, you know, folded like this. You can fold them like this and tear them and use them in half that way. Or you can, if you have a little bit of a longer hair, you can fold your foils in half this way and tear them the same way, either way. I usually do about 10 foils at a time when I'm tearing them. Anything more than that, it doesn't seem to tear completely, you know, evenly. So we do get a few different like rips in the foil, which it really doesn't make a difference if you can, you know, cover it up and fix it. But sometimes we do want to pay attention to our foils and
You're like cutting out. Maybe it's my connection. I don't know.
Nah, she cut out on mine too.
Okay. Miss Connor, I don't see you.
meat, right?
Where are you?
Wait, it's Miss Connor? I thought it was Miss Connie.
Oh no, it is Miss Connie.
Yeah, they try. I was supposed to say they try to be funny.
You got many names. Like Miss Cornelia.
Yeah, that's right.
Not Cornelia. All right, Lauren, you're hosting now.
I gotta go.
Okay, okay. Hey, girl.
Hell no.
Where the hell is everybody? Everybody's inside the house. Nobody's outside.
Whose ever screen name is Queen, it looks like she's outside.
Yeah, I'm outside. Getting in the zone.
Okay, I'm back now. I lost you for a
We
minute.
missed you so much. I was scared.
I had to reconnect everything. All right, so when we're going to be doing our consultation with our client, and we're getting ready to figure out this, we got to figure out what kind of pattern we're going to be using with this. Okay, so what type of parting pattern are we going to do? The easiest one to do is just like a rectangle down the center right here. That works for a lot of different types of hair. That'll work for your one like solid form haircut, because it'll just like give the illusion of having a whole lot of hair done. We're just doing like a rectangle down the top and letting it kind of fall over, and it just creates a nice little veil. I'm actually doing my hair tomorrow. I'm really excited. But when I do my hair, I just do the section down the center and that's it. I probably only put about 6 foils in it, and that's all I ever do, because I really don't like to sit there to get my hair done. But it gives the illusion of having, you know, more hair color than what you have. So that's one of the things you can do. Plus, if they come back in for a touch-up, it's really easy to find your parting pattern because you just have like a rectangle down the center. The only thing you have to watch out for is the hairline over here. Like how wide is their hairline? You know, we've got to watch how the head rounds. We want to keep it sort of right down that center. About the width of a perm rod really is about what you want to use down the center size for a rectangle. We want to make sure that the hair lays nice and flat in that foil. So we can't be taking a lot of hair, because if we take too much hair, then it's going to be very thick and we're not going to get close to the scalp. So if your client says that they want it all the way down to the scalp, you know, I want the color all the way at the roots of my hair, this is not the procedure for them. They'll want an all over hair color. Okay, when you do a weaving, really a touch up, probably about every 2 to 3 months, depending on how fast someone's hair grows. You really don't need to touch it up that fast because of the fact that we have the weave, so you're not going to see that line of demarcation when it grows out. So this is a good thing for someone who, you know, doesn't want to have to do a lot of maintenance on their hair. And it looks nice, right? So you can do it thick, you can do it thin, just depending on the size of the weave. So, you know, do they want it chunkier or do they want it more fine? And you're going to hear all kinds of terms out there, like, you know, baby lights. It's a very super thin weave that you can't even really see. You may hear other terms out there, like you hear other terms like balayage and ombre. That's something a little bit different. Whenever you're ready. Okay, well, we're just about ready. We're just talking about the different parting patterns and things like that. Yeah. Okay, we are going to have a guest. I'm going to actually do their hair in like 5 minutes. So we're just going to, you know, you got to think about balayage, ombre. That's a totally different procedure. It's not really a weaving. Okay, that's more of like a free form, which balayage throughout the years, that's been called all kinds of different things. All of a sudden, what is a few years back, somebody comes out with the term balayage and it becomes this thing that no one's ever heard of before. Over the years, it's been called like freeform painting, feather glossing. There was a couple of other terms too that I can't think of off the top of my head. Color melting was a term for ombre like maybe 10 years ago. So there was.
Wait, so you're about to do somebody's hair at school right now?
Yeah.
Against the law.
As a demo for you so you can see what we're doing, not a customer. Do you want to say something?
Stop giving her a hard time.
Donovan was good.
Stop giving her a hard time. We know you miss her.
Yo, that's why we do it, because we miss her.
Yeah, probably doing something they're giving everybody a hard time on here.
You know it's all love, Miss Connie.
Private text. All right, so I'm going to fold my foils lengthwise because she does have longer hair. I'm going to put some of the foils to the top here, get her all double draped up, and get ready to go. So I do have a scale. Where is it? I do have a scale right here to measure my my bleach of my developer. So I didn't fold this very well. So let me go ahead and just refold this. And I am going to be mixing the extra cool blonde and the multi-purpose for this perfect demonstration here. Oh, look at that. That's the first time I've just folded 20 foils and ripped them in half. And that's pretty darn good. That's
so amazing.
It is amazing. Believe me, you have no idea how many times I ripped those things crooked. So it's totally amazing.
So proud of you.
Thanks. Okay, so when it comes to my comb, I want to use a metal tail comb. It's just easier because of the taperness on the end of the comb. It's gonna just lay flatter at the scalp. And I like this one because I like the spacing of the teeth on this one, and then the metal is here. Some of the teeth are really close together and some are really far apart just because you can use different types of hair, but I actually really like this spacing here. Okay, I'm gonna do a diagonal forward on the side, which means when you pull your hair back, you're gonna see it. So when I take my slices to weave out, I'm gonna do a diagonal forward. And I don't know if I'm gonna do a fine weave or a medium weave because that's gonna be up to her when we talk about that. So I'll have to ask her when she comes in. We also have, let's see, I'm probably gonna wanna comb it. So I'm gonna have to get a regular brush out because I am definitely gonna wanna comb it. And I'm gonna want to clip it up.
Miss Connie, I think of you as like the black belt. You know, I think like you black belt as like the Cosmo. You know what I'm saying? You're so good at everything.
I understand you, Cece. Sorry, there's a lot of noise going on over there. I couldn't understand a word you said. Something about Cosmo.
I think of you as like the black belt in Cosmo. You know, like karate, you get the black belt, you're like really good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm breaking up. It's super hard to understand you. Sorry. So I thought I heard a black belt in Cosmo, but I'm probably sure you didn't say that.
That's what she said.
Is she? I could be black belt. Yeah. They just looked at me all crazy right now. Oh well. Okay, so I got my 10 brush because I like this one. And then I have, let me pull some clips out.
That was a message from outer space.
Okay. Take me home. I think that's all I'm gonna need for right now. I do have a chemical drape and I have a couple towels and a Sanex strip and I have my hand sanitizer. So I'll have to sanitize my hands, right?
Are we open for clients now or no?
Not yet. We're hoping next month, which is, you know, going to be within a couple weeks or so. We're just waiting to see, you know, what the governor has to say. So, all right, let me run and get her really quick. All right, she's coming. So I've got my scale out to measure out. I've got my clips, my foils, my drape, my Sanex strip, my developers, my bleaches. I think I got everything I need for right now. So, anyone ever had their hair foiled?
What?
Have you ever had your hair foiled?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. I can't wait to get my hair done tomorrow. I'm so excited. I haven't had any color or anything since like, I haven't even had a haircut.
Who's doing it for you?
Since May. That was a long time ago. The Summer always does my hair. She's the, she runs the Tracy School. We always do each other's hair.
Let me practice on yours so I can get a color off.
No, thank you.
What? I won't mess up. I learned from the best.
So I got 2 towels, Sanex strip, chemical drape, foils. Okay, so we're ready.
You can retouch my red for me if you want.
It's crazy, Cece. You sound so broken up and muffled. It's really hard to hear you. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Calling the police dispatch.
Okay, well, he can retouch my red if he wants.
Touch something.
I think she said retouch her red.
Oh, okay. It's really hard. Can you guys hear like I do, or is it just my connection?
No, she doesn't sound very clear.
Yeah. Okay.
Roger that, over now.
Sounds like you're in a wind tunnel or something. Something wild.
Freaking Android user.
Hey,
That's like
we're gonna watch language all the way. Knock it off.
Hell yeah, Junior.
Okay, here we go. Behave yourselves. I'm giving you, yeah, I already have a sign text on. Okay, so those of you that don't know, this is Miss Becky. She's the school director, and she's Hi. She's our special guest. So, like I said, I sanitized my hands. You guys all saw me. They saw me. I did it and showed them how to do it. Okay, my neck strip's going on next, but she's got a lot of hair. Don't let her fool you. She's got a lot of hair. So we're gonna put this out of the way because we can do this for hair that gets long. We don't have to fight with it, right? We're gonna control the hair. It's not gonna control us. So I'm gonna use my neck strip and I'm not gonna tie it. We're just gonna tuck it. Because I don't want to choke anybody. Towel around the shoulders, right, for my double drape. I'm gonna clip it because I don't want it to fall off. And then I'm gonna use my chemical drape, and then on top of my chemical drape, I'm gonna place my other towel. This is a heavy drape.
Wow, it'll keep me warm.
Yeah, she's always cold, so she should be warm now. Okay, and now we're gonna do the other towel, and I'm gonna clip it again because I don't want it to fall off. Ooh, I'm gonna pull her hair.
I'm gonna use the blue.
Okay, yeah, I have blue in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now I've touched her hair. I'm gonna sanitize my hands again. And remember, get used to sanitizing your wrists too, especially barbers, because that's what they always say you have to do, sanitize your wrists. I had all that talk about getting a brush out, and I totally didn't get it out.
Trying to see what I'm looking at.
So, I know it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
let me
so
get my
square,
glasses. There's Ruben. I see a whole bunch of people.
And there's another page too.
Yeah, there's the guys. Hi. You're watching together. That's cool.
Okay, so we always want to detangle,
Teamwork
right?
makes the dream work. I got my feet ready.
Always detangle the hair before we start.
Wow, look at that line of demarcation.
So now during this time, you know, I'm checking out her hair, making sure she doesn't have any, you know, cuts, separations, disorders, bugs, fleas, textures. Is it thick? Is it fine? Is it, you know, straight? Is it smooth? Is it coarse? Or what are all these different textures? Can't really tell porosity till you get the hair wet. But you can look at it and just know that if you have color on your hair, you have a little bit more porosity than if you don't have color on your hair.
Look, she just saw me.
That's gonna,
I know she was watching me.
that's gonna give us an indication here. Now, like I said, I didn't know how much color she wanted. So as we were coming in for our consultation, how much color, how thick do you like your strands?
Every other, you know how I do it.
Okay, so she wants every other one. So now that I have my foils torn lengthwise, because you know she has long hair, I want to use this as my measuring tool. So as I come up to the top of her hair, it's a little bit easier with the mirror in front of me too. But as I come here with this tool, I'm gonna look at this and think, yeah.
It's still gonna show up on the, yeah, I'm not risking that.
See, now let me do it again. There we go. So about the width of a perm rod is what I want to do on my section, and I want to do my rectangle. But what you want to notice is you want to look at the whorl in the back. or the cowlick, you know, but it's technically a whorl, right? So you want to look at the whorl on the back of their head. Which direction is that pushing the hair? Is it separating higher, lower? I mean, what is it doing? Because you never want to stop like right in the middle of that. You either want to stop above it or below it. In this case, where the worst separation is, it's about right here in her crown. So I want to make sure that I'm going to be stopping it. I don't know if we can see it. Can you guys see it? It's like, it's like right there. Okay, right there. So we want to make sure that we stop below it, because that's going to separate. We need it to look, you know, good, not like it's just got to stop at the hole in the middle of it. So we're gonna stop below that. So I'm going to section this out just about the size or the width of a perm rod back to the crown area. Don't let her fool you. She's got lots of hair. See, I can't even hold on to it. So we'll do it a little bit differently.
To do a partial full weave on me, probably here in Modesto area, just the full weave is normally about $75 and up, depending upon if I just want the crown, you know, the basically crown and the top, you know, the bang area done. But in Washington State, when I lived there for four-ish years, they wouldn't touch my hair even doing just the top foils for less than $150. So depending upon where you're at and what area you go to, you can charge, you know, what's going on, what's the going rate.
What if it was foil for the whole head?
Some foils. Huh?
What if it was for the full head?
For the full head, then they should be charging me at least, for my full head should be about $125 here, honestly. Because I have lots of hair. You can actually cut the top. Literally, it can take 1.5 hours to 2 hours to full my hair. I have so much hair.
You want to do on the side, so
Just a few, couple down, just a couple down.
So when I brought this back below that whorl here, I'm going to go from this parting here on a diagonal towards the front, kind of behind the ear, just to pull some of these out for the front section area. So it's a little wider at the top and it kind of narrows down towards the bottom here, which is fine because remember, when it gets too wide for you to handle it, you're going to split it. We're only going to put a few here on the sides. We're not going to put a lot. So probably like 3, maybe I'm thinking on the sides here, but I may 5 just because you have to split this section. So 5 in a horizontal way. I'm going to go on a diagonal.
And then on top of that, then everything that you left behind underneath, everything on.
He's trying, yeah, he doesn't realize he's,
yeah. Okay, so this, now the whole back portion of her hair here, I'm gonna, oh, I guess I should probably fix this parting, it's a little crooked. I was like, oh, that piece didn't belong there. I'm just gonna clip this completely like in a ponytail out of the way. Now, on an average, when you start to mix your bleach, you're gonna mix like 1 scoop of bleach to 1.5 scoops of developer. But I know that she has a lot of hair and I'm using 2 different bleaches. I'm gonna use the multi-purpose and I'm using the extra cool. And I am gonna mix these 50-50 because her hair does take a while to come up. So, oh, these are interesting little scoops in here. Maybe I'll do 2 of these scoops. So if I put a scoop in, it's about 1/2 ounce for that scoop. So now I'll just have to come over here with this and get another scoop. I have my scale off to the side with my little scoops and my scale and my bleach here. So I'm just gonna pop this one in. Oh, now you can see the color of this one. See how it's a little bit more green than the other? So let's see. So now that I have that put together, I know that from using this previously with the powders, that we need to mix these powders together a little bit. If they don't, because they're always really clumpy and it's hard to mix. So I just kind of want to mix these together a little bit more. The extra cool, the greenish bleach, it seems like it's a little bit more wet than the purple bleach. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to mix them together a little bit. I've always said I was going to do that and I always forget and then I struggle with it. So this time I said, hey, I'm just going to do this and not struggle with it. So I've got 30 volume developer here. And this is a really neat bottle because the way it squirts out, you don't have to measure or anything. I'm just weighing it. So I can just squirt it in there and I like that. Let's see. 20, probably be 50, no, 60, right? No, 80. And I can't do math.
How much was the powder?
20. So 60 and 60, 120, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 180. Another 60, 20, 60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't do math. Miss Sue pointed that out to me today. She says, I add better than you. I said, yes, you do.
What'd you say? You said you can't do math?
No, I can't do math. So I'm sitting here like using fingers to count, 60, 70, 80. Yeah, go ahead and laugh. It's okay. I do hair, not math.
You realize that a lot of artistic people aren't good with numbers, right? So,
I'm sorry, I kind of laughed because I didn't hear what you guys said because it kind of broke up a little bit. That's why I kind of pretend like I understood, but in reality I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
So usually this stuff gets mixed up, sort of like sour cream, kind of thick. It's a pretty color, right? It's a pretty color.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thick. And remember I was telling you, it's a fine line between too thick and too thin. And that's a pretty good consistency though, but.
It won't bleed onto the scalp if it's thick. It won't, you know what I'm saying? It'll go on smooth. It'll actually, when it starts to swell and heat up the hair, it stays. It's not like you're going to have spotty, it'll be blonde all the way through, all the way from wherever she puts it. But if it's not mixed right, and everybody doesn't think that that's important, but trust me, when you don't have a measuring spoon and you have to, or a measuring cup or a scale and you're trying to eye it, it can get off and then you can make it a little too thick, you can make it a little too thin. It can really affect the way your bleaches come out.
Yeah.
Were you referring to the spots, were you referring to as like holidays?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't get consistent results if you don't mix it correctly, because if you do, like if I did her right now and I use the scale, next time I just put it in there and it wouldn't work the same.
And it's a little different than a holiday. As a holiday is actually when there's color that didn't get basically applied all through the hair, so that when you pull the hair back, you've got all these different colors. It's patchy. It still is patchy,
right.
But it's almost like under bleached hair. And so it makes it harder because I've had to go and clean up the things that other people did. And it's harder to clean up bleach than it is color. Color, you can just put it back on. It's going to go to the level that you picked. But with bleach, you don't want to over bleach the other areas. So it's really, really tricky. So you want to be careful with the bleach, never to do something like that. So it isn't really considered holidays. It's more like spotty. You'd have to see the difference. But I think once you basically do it and you understand, and then to try to correct it, you're like, oh heck.
Like a cheetah. You don't want it to come out like a cheetah.
Yeah, exactly.
I took this sort of on a diagonal back here, because then when she pulls her hair back, it's gonna go, back a little bit more. So a lot of times if you just go straight across horizontally on the sides and they pull their hair back, it looks like a stripe. And so it's usually best to go on a diagonal, whether you're going on a diagonal forward or a diagonal back. That's going to make a difference on how much is shown once the hair is pulled back. And I'm just sort of doing like a medium weave here as I weave that through. And when I put the comb in, I sort of just bumped it, where are you? Bumped it like going like this across.
And she's not doing slicing because I don't like slicing, because slicing to me, you can, you know, when you pull your hair up or you do different things, you can see stripes, and I don't like stripes. What I wanted to do is make the overall thing look like it's a different color without having to bleach my entire head, because I don't want to do that either. You know what I'm saying? So you foil weave, which is just kind of an in and out pattern. How many of you guys have ever made pot, you know, like what are the little pot holder things when you're a kid, and it was like you basically weaved in and out with different pieces of things, and you made little pot holders. If you haven't, that's the same thing that you do when you're weaving hair. But
So for better client satisfaction, you'd go with weaving instead of slicing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, it really depends on what they want, but yeah, if they want to see a bunch of stripes on their head, go with slicing. But if it's blend and look, you know, kind of natural, then we're gonna go with weaving. Now she just wants a few on the side, so I put this first one in, and I'm gonna skip about an inch because I'm just gonna do a few on the side. So if I pull down this inch here and I put this up, I can come back with this inch and just slice off the top section. So see, I'm not gonna put anything on this one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put it on this one.
And honestly, light hair, you can actually slice and it'll turn out better than with dark hair like mine. I'm a level 5. Okay. Level 4, level 5.
Well, you're kind of breaking up.
Yeah, when you slice mine, it doesn't look right. You end up having to tone it anyway. So, but blonde hair, dark blonde hair, really light brown hair, you can slice it and it looks good. And honestly, slicing saves a lot of time. You probably figured that one out, right? Because it's a little bit longer. But the thing is it's about the satisfaction after, because, you know, literally we've had to go in afterwards when you have those clients that are used to seeing more blonde, and they're like, oh, it's not heavy enough here. And it's because somebody has actually sliced them and they have that, especially around the hairline, and they just want to see that blonde. You know what I'm saying? So really talking to your client and figuring out what they've had, if they know what they want, you know, and so many of them sit down and say they don't until you're done. And then basically they want you to go back and, you know, redo something. And that's where sometimes slicing comes in, because that will give us a lot quicker than foil weaving. So.
Oh, I see. Well, because I have a client, she wants that exactly done, but she wants like pretty much every hair dyed, and I don't know how to go about that. So I know I'm gonna be using like 20 foils per section.
If you want every hair, this isn't the technique for you.
Yeah.
You might as well just do a regular hair color if you want every hair. This is the technique that's just gonna do, you know, certain, like every other hair. So if you want every hair done, this is not the technique for you.
And honestly, one of my favorite things I like to do, and what paid me the most money, was guys that came in, because especially, you know, guys that came, you know, I had some guys who worked construction, and but they basically were in a machine, so they weren't out in the sun. Their bodies would get brown, but nothing would happen with their hair. And they would come in and, you know, cut their hair every 2 to 3 weeks. And then what would happen is about every second or third, you know, cut, I would go ahead and I would take bleach just like this, but you use a comb. And so I don't know if Connie's shown you how to, we call it feather glossing with a comb.
Talking about it.
And I would feather gloss it in. You'd sit there, we'd talk for a little bit. You could even do another cut while they were coming up, and then you rinse it out. It looks natural. You know, charge extra for it. And it's like, it's almost like they're getting a bleach, but you're not. It's so easy. It's really stinking easy. And once you get to know it, you start off basically doing it lighter, and then pretty soon you add more and more. And then pretty soon it's like, you know what I'm saying? They have to have it. You know, my brother would come down, he did construction, and he always wanted people to think that he had been out in the sun the whole time that he was here too. And so he would do it really heavy, and he would go back up there, and you know what I'm saying? So that his hair was lightened and that kind of thing. Nobody knew that I had feather glossed it. So Doing men with the feather glossing is not that big a deal. You know what I'm saying? Also, you can do the same kind of thing with color for those who have gray. You know, you feather gloss, it's a technique, and it's something that you can charge, you know, extra money for, and it doesn't take that long. Hair color, what, 20, 30 minutes? And you're using like the Kuhn, the 10-minute hair color. It's more of a semi-permanent, doesn't last that long, but you can make money. That's the whole point. How much money are you worth? You know, do you want to,
Right.
you know, you got to start figuring out how much, how can you, what do you have to charge to get your supplies, pay your rent, or basically whatever it is. How much are you worth an hour? That's the whole point, is that you have to get to the place where it's like, hey, I don't mind doing this while they're sitting here waiting. I don't mind doing this while, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing another cut. I'm still making money over here. And that's the point, learning how to control your own thing. It's not about, because after a while, even my stepbrother who has a barbershop in Stockton, he got tired of just doing clipper cuts and men's cuts. That's all he did. He was just a barbershop. And it was when he basically got, you know, after doing it for so many years, after doing it for 15, 20 years, your wrists start getting tired, your elbows start getting tired. You're going to try to infill with services that make you money. Do you know what I'm saying? So you don't have to work smarter, not harder. And if you learn that from the beginning, then you can make, you know, you can make more money, and you can continue on and give yourself a break, give your arms, your shoulders, and everything else a break. Go ahead, Connie, sorry.
Okay, I get off my soapbox. So I'm just sort of, I subdivided this section because it got a little bit wider for me. I'm not going all the way down to the ends of her hair because she has color, but I am sort of just like feathering it down. I don't want it to over-process, right? I don't want to put color on top of color because for one, it could damage, and for two, those ends would get lighter than the rest of her hair. But I do want it to blend. So the area where her outgrowth is, if you see me come back to a couple of them and just kind of add a little bit more there, I want to make sure that's really covered. Up towards the top of the foil, I'm tilting my brush at an angle, and I'm just sort of because you don't want to go all the way to the scalp because it'll bleed and you'll end up with like a cheetah spot there. So I just want to make sure that I'm touching this at the top section, and now I have this side done. So I'm gonna move to the other side.
Does anybody know what happens if you apply bleach over bleach? What will you get?
Can you repeat that?
If you bleach over previously bleached hair, what could you end up with?
You overprocess it, right?
Did you hear?
Is it overprocessed?
Yeah, it can break off, over process, that's all right. The other thing too is if you try to tone it, you're not going to get an even color, because the hair, that the over processed portion is not only going to grab darker, but then it's also going to rinse out quicker before the other hair that's porosity is more neutral or even. And then you've got those clients who think it's you've done something wrong, you're trying to correct it. And the biggest mistake people make is they don't equalize the porosity in basically lightened hair before they tone. They just basically throw some toner on it, and that's what ends up happening.
You know, we were talking about those porosity fillers and things like that yesterday, and that's exactly what, you know, evening out that porosity is going to do. Remember the potholes in the intercellular spaces, and that's exactly what's going to help you a lot when you're getting ready to tone, and also making sure that I'm way backwards.
Here, won't you hold it? There you go.
And it's a little bit more dry when you go to put the toner on. So I'm doing the sides first. Oh, I was looking for the brush. The reason why I'm doing the sides first is because if I was slower on my application, or if her hair processed really fast, it would be easier for me to wash these off than it would be to try to wash the top off. Now, the hardest part for me when I go from one side to the next is trying to get the same partings as I did on the other side. Because right, one side's easier than the other to do, and my right side's easier. I should have started on my left side. So you want to try to get the same angle, the same diagonal, same amount of hair, you know, but remember, one side's always going to have more hair than the other. So it's okay if you're off by, you know, a little bit, but you don't want to be off by like inches. So if I did like 18 foils on one side, I gotta make sure I'm doing at least 16 on the other, which I'd be here for a long time if I did that many foils.
So how much would you, if say you know the technique and you have like the foils and stuff, but they buy the dye? That's all they pretty much get. Like product wise.
Well, why, you don't want your clients to buy product, you wanna get the
Oh, I
product.
can't hear you now. Dang it.
Yeah, you don't wanna, I mean, if you have a
Hold on.
shop,
I can't hear you guys.
bring in their own products, what are you doing?
Don't do that.
I hear you
That's
guys now.
Hey, that's like, I got a question for you. Would you go to McDonald's and bring your own hamburger meat?
Okay, I see what you mean.
You know,
Yes, I would.
makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I don't know how else to say something like that. I mean, it's like if they come to you to have a service, then you should basically be doing everything for them, not letting them go pick out their color and then you just, whatever it is that they, you know, they pick out, you've got to apply. You've got to like what you're using too, you know, and understand it, all that good kind of stuff.
Product knowledge, how many times I tell you, product knowledge, you gotta have your product knowledge. So just going back through, making sure that I get it all nice and, you know, you can put your comb in, the tail part of the comb in here to fold that over. You could use the teeth part of the comb to fold that over. Sometimes I just get one side and fold it over.
What's wrong?
I didn't call. I was just gonna go do two. Oh, I didn't call.
It's hot, huh? No?
Thanks for the dryer.
So, I was gonna do that. Get to the point here where I'm probably going to divide this next one in half.
Did you guys catch that fish? Oh shoot.
So if you guys want to take a 5, because it's 3 o'clock, if you want to go ahead and take your 5. If you need it, if not, just stay on. And once I get to the top, I'll show you how to do that, but this is going to be real quick. One more here.
Y'all took them 5.
They all took off.
Oh, wow.
So what time do we come back at?
It's 3:01, so come back at like 3:06. Just 5 for right now, so I can show you the top. And then we go. You guys can take another 5 in a little bit after we come back.
Wait, did you catch that fish or what? Did you catch that fish?
You need to go call real quick and go. Just tell them real quick.
He's like the closest one.
Oh, there you are. Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and type that. You definitely. Break right now. Okay. Some of them are still there, they wanna watch fun, so.
Okay.
I got too much work back there. So I gotta figure out how you guys, the girls are just handing it out, we got other stuff.
Okay.
I just sent it on a zip so I'll be able to remember what it was. So what we're supposed to do for like the next 2 days. Okay.
Let's probably do this week, and then we'll look at everything for next week, okay?
Your camera's still on.
That's funny.
I hear all kinds of crazy things.
Did you tell Kristen?
Yeah, she goes, fine.
She just making sure they get their work done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she sees what they have to do, and she breaks them out a schedule, and if they need help, she shows them how to do it, like their math and stuff. So that's all credit.
She's doing it like once a week, or?
Yeah. Yeah, for an hour.
I should have her do the kids, because they're gonna drive me nuts. No, but I
It goes to
just,
school, right?
yeah, I just sometimes get frustrated, because I'm frustrated.
I know those of you that are
Junior, did you already mop?
I'm doing this.
Huh? Are you sure?
Okay, so we're back now.
I was gonna say, I got a call and said that they couldn't hear you or see you.
Oh, well, we're back. So, let me put this back. There we go. Okay, so top of the head, I'm doing the same thing as I was doing on the sides, except I'm putting them a little bit closer together on the top than I did on the sides. So I'm still lifting it up, and I'm about to fold my foil a little bit different as soon as I get to the apex area. So right now I'm still folding my foil about a ½ an inch over the back of the comb, and then I'm laying the comb on the parting that I woven, and kind of tug a little bit on the hair to where it'll hold the foil down, and then I'm just applying the product over the top of that. But what I am going to do in just a second is fold the foil forward, and I will show you the difference in that when I get there. A lot of this too has to do with the way that you hold your brush, the bristles of the brush. You know, how much pressure are you putting on that bristle? Are you pushing it down? Are you lightly feathering it? You know, what are we doing to apply the product? And right when I first start to apply the product, I push that brush down, like those bristles are on about the fold, right about where the fold of the foil is. Those bristles are pushed down on that foil so that I can get as much product on there as possible. Then I'm lightening the angle of the brush also, and letting it just sort of like feather out towards the ends. Just kind of spreading the product that I just put on at the fold. You guys have any questions? Okay, so one more here, and then we'll change the foil.
Did you already do the back where the nape area is at?
We're not doing the whole head. I just went to the crown.
Okay.
I think that one's too thick.
My gray hair threw you off.
Get rid of some of that, yeah. That piece of hair was too thick, so I didn't like the way that it was turning out when I was weaving it, so I just made it thinner. Okay, so now that I'm about the apex area, all this hair is growing naturally, like straightforward, right? So I don't want to try to pull it back because it's not going to lay back correctly. So I'm going to switch my angle and come to the front. All these little baby hairs here. And a lot of times those baby hairs are really hard to work with. And a lot of times they won't even take. So when they're the little tiny baby hairs, we just leave those alone. Now that we're in the front though, we have, make that kind of even.
Is there any way to get those baby hairs? Like using bobby pins right at the base? Like right at the base where you're not like dyeing the hair?
Well,
where the application is applied at?
You can try it, but it usually doesn't get very good results with those baby hairs. They're always in the way. And most people don't like the baby hairs that they have. You know, they're always fighting with them. So we're not gonna fight with them. We're just, because like that's not even,
And I'm sure it would just blend in, right?
not even an inch. Couple of them. Yeah, they just blend.
Okay.
And the thing is that it takes at least 72 hours for any kind of chemical to get out of the hair. I mean, your peroxide, your bleach, your coloring, for everything to kind of mellow out. So people who come and say, well, I don't like the way, you know, my foil weave turned out, I always said, you have to give it at least 3 days, if not to a week, because it looks like little worms in the hair at first. You know what I'm saying? And after that period, it just blends and they'll see a difference. And most people that listened over the years would, you know, come back later and go, oh, you were right. It's fine. It was fine. It just took a little bit, because at first it just separates and it wants to stay together because of what happens chemically in the hair. But after shampooing and the, you know, the water molecules and your shampoo and your conditioner, what ends up happening, it takes a while for it to go back to its normal state. And so the thing is, then what happens is that then it blends and it looks like they wanted it to, instead of that. Like I said, the only thing I can basically compare, this is not what I wanted, because you can see the dark hair and you can see the lightened hair. The thing is that if you give it anywhere from 3 to 7 days, you're going to see it blend. And that's what they wanted to see to begin with. And that's why you use this technique.
Would it oxidize during that process or no?
Are you talking about the peroxide oxidizing?
Yes.
With the powder bleach, I think what we're talking about basically is it's actually almost like neutralizing, because what neutralizes everything? Water neutralizes. So it takes so much time for us to shampoo. And because most of us shampoo our hair, that's why I said anywhere from 72 hours to a week. And the reason why I said a week is that a lot of times anymore, I'm different. I shampoo my hair every single day, but there are people who have over curly hair. They only shampoo their hair maybe twice a week. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're having to flat iron it and that kind of thing. And it takes longer. So the thing is the whole process of shampooing and conditioning using water is to neutralize those basically chemicals out of the hair. And your hair is not continually oxidizing that time. Let's hope not. You have to get all the chemicals out so it stops oxidation. And then what happens is from a shampoo and water, then what happens, it almost like neutralizes, because what's happening, even though you may get the chemicals out, they're still what? Inside the hair, right?
Yeah.
And so the point is what you want it to do is to go back and to normalize, and basically the only way to do that is by shampooing. And that's why, like, even when you're doing other chemical services, why shampooing is so important. Like when you're basically doing your relaxers, shampooing is so important. You know, how many times have you heard your, family member saying that they went and they got a color and then they came home and they felt back in the back of the nape of the hair and they still had hair color, right?
Yeah.
But that's when, like you were talking about oxidation, that it never stopped, right? Because it wasn't rinsed out of the hair properly, and it basically, there wasn't enough shampoo and water applied to stop the action of the peroxide. So you have to make sure all those steps are so important. People think it's just important, just application, but actually removal of the chemical out of the hair is also important, because you can cause chemical burns on the skin or the scalp. You can cause basically the hair to continually break off, especially with bleach, and yeah, I've had bleach applied and then turn around and then I'll go back to natural. And I do it back and forth, and I've never lost any hair. My hair's never melted off, but I also know how to take care of my hair. And if you teach your clients how to take care of their hair, they're not going to have that problem either. But I'm one of those people too that also believe that if you can't do their hair and you feel that it's not healthy enough and they need to start taking better care of their health, their hair, and condition it, then you need to tell them, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what gives you a license, is basically you understanding how to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's important, because trust me, over the years, I have said, no, we can't do so. Your hair fall. Strand test to show them your hair, it just melted. There's nothing left, you know?
You're right.
So if you notice here and there a little bit more, because she has less color, and I am folding this in thirds instead of in half, just because it's better in the face, you know, it doesn't leave so much foil and stuff hanging down in the face. Now I've been folding my foils towards me, but you can fold your foils away from you. I did the first one like that. And I'll show you what makes a little bit of a difference when you're doing that is when I come here to weave out my hair, and like I said, I'm giving her a little bit more here in the front. I'm gonna pull this up, and when I go to fold the foil away from me now, so about a ½ inch on the comb, folding it away from me. As I go to apply this down, I'm still gonna go through the same process, you know, brush and lost a piece of hair. Right, so I'm gonna come up and feather this towards the top. But now as I go to fold this into thirds, I can lift this up, and in that fold, I can push this more down towards the scalp. And right here on the very top of the hair, it's important to try to get that as close as you can right there, because for some reason, that's the one that's gonna show the most. Let's have a couple more left, and we're good. We're gonna process it. Ah, look at, I just dropped that whole thing. Okay, so yeah, take it back and start over. She's gonna go underneath the heated dryer here, and we're gonna check it in about every, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes or so. No, that's a long time. If it was somebody I've never done before, I'd check it in 5 minutes and see what it looks like. But because we know that she takes a while.
She knows I take between 15 and 30 under the dryer. So.
Yeah, so we'll check it in about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And we're just gonna keep, you know, checking it till we get the color that we want. We may have to do a toner, because sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So just to see what color we get. But, oh, we may have time. Once we get this process to the color, the desired color, we're gonna go ahead and rinse it and give it a shampoo with no conditioner. And then we'll towel dry it really good. Her hair doesn't have extreme porosity, so a lot of times with the toner, it's okay if we just go over the damp hair, towel dry hair.
Right, and if she uses a toner, to be honest with you, and so she's not conditioning it because she's possibly going to have to put a toner on it. But after the toner, I use a leave-in conditioner. I have to use a leave-in conditioner. So it can be a liquid leave-in. I use the Sensory's leave-in conditioner in my hair, and it makes a difference because I can't stand for my hair to be like crispy fried from the bleach. So
we're also going to use a post color treatment. And it's just sort of like a pH normalizer there to help balance that pH out and stop the oxidation in the hair, stop all the chemical action. And it actually makes the hair feel pretty good.
For the post color treatment, do you use that after the shampoo wash or?
Yes. Yeah, and usually the manufacturer's directions on those say to leave them on like 3 to 5 minutes. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we're just gonna, you know, follow our manufacturer's directions and Do what they say.
So it would be the shampoo and then the post color treatment and then the conditioner, right? Okay.
This is a little odd piece I have out, so I'm just gonna do a very, like a baby light right here, just to sort of blend those two areas together, because this is the one that was coming forward and that was the one that was going back. So I didn't want to just leave that piece of hair there, but it wasn't enough to like weave out, so I'm just gonna put a couple little hairs right here, just to sort of blend that together so the transition matches a little bit better.
I have a question about the way you started at the top of the head. Is there a reason you started in the front and not from the middle? Because you would think that the front would take faster than the middle.
I actually started in the back and I worked my way to the middle where the apex was, you know, the tallest point of the head right here where the apex is. So I started in the back and I worked my way here to the front, and then I moved to the front and worked my way back.
Oh, okay.
I just prefer to do it that way because hair right here in the front, especially with her hair, because her hair is strong. The growth pattern is straightforward. So if I'm pulling the hair back to weave it, it seems like I don't get close enough to the scalp, and then there's just like a drag in the foil. So like with me, I only do like 2 because my hair is not nearly as strong as hers. So I'm just gonna do like 2 right here in the front coming forward, just because that's the way my hair grows. So, you know, we're analyzing the hair growth patterns before we start so that we can see where we're at on these and just being able to get, you know, the best results. And see, this is what bleach does. See that white tip on my finger there? That's what bleach does to your skin.
I'm surprised you didn't put gloves on. I was thinking about that when you first started. Like, is she crazy?
You know, I know you're supposed to wear gloves. Yes, you are. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
But as a master barber, shoot, who needs gloves, right?
Yeah, but you're supposed to be wearing gloves. But yeah, you should always, right? Anytime you touch chemical, you're supposed to be wearing gloves, and I didn't even put gloves on.
Yeah, Connie, you need to wear gloves.
You're supposed to do as I say, like not as I do, right?
That's what I tell the kids.
Yeah, right, exactly. So she went to go sit underneath the dryer. I don't know how long she's going to be underneath there, but you guys just can stop by tomorrow. The ones that come into school tomorrow can stop by and take a peek at her hair. If not, I'll have her. Oh no, you guys won't even see her till next week. So it's pretty good. Now,
Miss Connie?
Yes.
What was the way called that you like separated the hair and then you bleached it?
Weaving.
Okay.
Weaving. Yeah. So like when I was folding the foils, I can show you now since I can get closer to the camera. When I was folding these foils and I was folding them like this on the end, when I took this comb, if I was folding it away from me, I was putting it about 1/2 inch like this and folding it over my comb. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so it's okay if I was off by, you know, a little bit. And then I was placing this area right here, right at the scalp, and pulling the hair down like over the top of it. And I was tugging on the hair a little bit, because that way when I pulled the comb out, this was staying at the scalp. And then if I was folding it towards me, I was doing the same thing. I was just taking this comb, of course it's exactly the same thing, but it's facing towards me, and I was putting it like this on the foil. So then when I was taking
your pinky, I wanted to get your skin.
The what?
Your pinky, is that bleach that's on there?
The
other pinky, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, I've got it all over me. By holding it like this, as I came in with this brush, I can put the brush here. So if I'm holding the brush out, the fold is where I would put the brush. And as I came down here, I would push on the brush and get these bristles like flat like that, and then come down my foil. Then I would kind of lift it up a little bit and just kind of spread it and feather it out, then go back in with the tip of the brush at the fold and just sort of go like this, because you don't want to get past the fold of the foil. If you do that, you're going to get stripes and it's going to look like it's bleeding. Also, you don't want to get it too close either, because the heat from the scalp is going to draw the bleach towards the scalp. So we don't want to get it too close, because we don't want it to look like we have like a stripe, like a tiger stripe or something like that. So that's the reason why I did it that way. It's easy. I mean, it's not hard. You can't be in a rush, and you got to make your application neat, and you got to be able to control the hair. But it's not a hard technique. It's just being able to analyze the hair when you start and being like, okay, so this side, left side has more hair than the right side. Okay, the hairline goes back farther on this side than that side. You know, you just have to really analyze as you're going through it, and just checking it out. So, yeah, I was laughing with the different pricing that I was seeing around different cities. Because like this weekend, I was in San Francisco, and I was kind of walking around a little bit, not much, because we mostly were driving around, but we went to go eat. You know, we parked, and we had to park, you know, at least 3 blocks away, walk over to go eat. So we walked by we walked by a barber shop, and then we walked by like a salon, and the salon was kind of nice. It actually had like the infrared dryers and all of that stuff up on the wall. And it was talking about prices. So the haircuts were like $30, and it said perms, they started at like, you know, 100 and all this. And then we walked down to the other one was just like a haircut shop. They didn't really do any kind of chemicals. It was about a block away. I looked in there at their price menu, and all they did was haircuts, and their haircuts were $20. And I was like, wow, what a difference in the prices, because you would think that San Francisco would be a lot more, right? A lot more. So, and this was over in like, we ate North Beach. So it was over like in Chinatown, North Beach, where it kind of comes together right there. So it was real interesting. I was looking at those prices. So, you know, it really just all depends on where you are, on what you can charge, right? Exactly. Where you go, what you can charge. I mean, I think I should be able to charge like $50 an hour, but yeah, I don't think I would get that around here.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you happen to know when, or if you know anything about MCS letting ROP go over?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. You might have to call in and talk to Donovan about that. I don't know anything about that at all.
I work for Modesto City Schools, and you guys aren't going to be able to go until, like right now, we're only letting elementary school. So you have to wait until we get a clear of 2 weeks.
Dang. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Oh, I didn't know that about elementary school. Does that mean my grandkids get to go back to school, please?
No, we only have hubs. So right now it's just Lakewood, Bret Harte, Override that are open.
Wow.
So unless they sign a waiver, they're able to go, but it depends on the school.
Okay. I really want the kids to go to school. I want everybody to go to school. So is there any
Make them do chores.
Oh, look, you're not in my, we're not going to go there. So do you guys have any other questions?
Offer them donuts.
So I'm going to do a test strand, right? So I'm just going to like remove a little bit of the product. I'm not going to clean out my bowl yet. There's not much left in here. Like I almost used all of it. There's not a lot left in here. But once we get done, I'm going to save this, because when I go to do a test strand, if I need to apply it, reapply it back to the strand I just tested, I'll have it here to keep before I dump that out. Let's see, what else do you need to know? I mean, when you remove the foils to rinse it, you just pull them. They come right out. They're not hard to take out. When you go to fold the foils too, I just lifted the corner up, you know, like this. I didn't like smash them together like that. You don't want to smash them together, because the product that's in here, you don't want to like smash it and make it seep out of the sides or anything like that. Plus you need that oxygen in there for the oxidation, right? So we just want to make sure that we fold it over nicely like this, you know, and then fold it up. It always reminds me of chicken and foil, because, you know, and then when you're done, you have a nice little packet there. And kind of makes me hungry, because, you know, chicken and foil is good. So that's what it kind of reminds me of when you fold it up, but don't smash it. That's a big thing too. And really be careful at the fold next to the scalp that you don't get it past that or even on that, because you don't want to see that line there. It's going to leave when it touches the scalp. We call it in the business and the salon stuff, we call it bleeding. So if your foils bleed, that means that bleach has went out past this fold part or came up to this fold and it's touched the scalp or the hair that's behind here. And you see like a stripe or a line. And that's known as bleeding, which is what we don't want to see. So, yeah. There's lots of different techniques for foiling, but that's just a super easy, basic one. It's nothing fancy with that one. There's ones that you can do circles with. You could do multiple colors. It really gets a little bit harder when you start doing more than 3 colors though. And if somebody wants 3 colors, do like a light color, a dark color, and their natural color, and then there's their 3 colors. So, it gets a little harder when you start using more colors, because then sometimes they might meld together and then, they're not getting the definition that they want, especially when someone has like lighter hair. The darker color can bleed into it again and make it discolored. So sometimes—
What 3 colors were you talking about? I'm sorry, you said natural.
Natural, like a lighter color or a darker color and their natural color.
Okay, lighter and darker. Okay.
Yeah, so like let's say they've got their natural color and they're like, yeah, I want lighter hair and I want darker hair. Well, you need to go at least 2 levels, maybe 3 or 4 levels. I say 4, lighter or darker to even make a big contrast in it. If not, it's just going to kind of look like it's all blended together. If they want a big contrast, you need to go at least 3 or 4 levels or shades, lighter or darker than their natural color to make a difference. If they want it to blend together and you just go like 1 level darker, 1 shade darker, 1 shade lighter, 1 level lighter, you're going to end up it's not going to be that much of a difference. It's really not. I mean, if you're trying to do contrast where you can really notice, you need at least go 4, at least 4.
You trying to see a real beer lineup right now, Miss Connie?
Oh, shit.
You guys kill me. Yeah, so does anyone have any other questions?
Nope.
No. No other questions? Okay, let me see who's still here.
I'm about to make 2 bills off of that little technique you just taught me.
I get a commission after just teaching it to you.
The person you're trying to talk to is no longer in service.
Okay, let me see who I got here now still. All right, I know I got Junior, Alexis is there, Aubrey, Elizabeth, Nick, make this a little bit easier here because I have a few more people on than I did in the beginning. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call out names, and if I don't call you, let me know. Okay, Junior, Renee, Alexis, Cecilia, Aubrey, Charlene, Elizabeth, Nick, Haley, Isabel, Jessica, Judith, Kayla, Lauren, Wesley, Lorena, Julian, Lugo, Max, Nate, Peyton, Ruben, Vanessa, Treese, Valerie, Saida, Shay, Brenda, Lexia, Alicia, Amanda, Cassandra, Stephanie, Eva, Evie, Angelina, Jasmine, Jocelyn, Catherine, Leslie, Selena, Trijan, Alize, Deja, Melissa, Natalie, and Lexi. Did I miss anyone?
I forgot Yasmin.
Yasmin, okay.
You forgot Nadia.
Okay.
That's all we need for school.
I just got her right now. Nadia? Anyone else? Just Jasmine and Nadia were the ones that I forgot.
You forgot Renee.
I got Renee.
What kind of water are you drinking?
All day. Okay. So where are we? Nobody chatted anything? No chats. All right.
Miss Connie's gonna perm my hair tomorrow.
Jerry curls or
Perming Donovan's hair too. We're all getting ourselves. They're all who?
you do it? Like in that one movie, Coming to America. Eddie Murphy.
Do you?
Are we cut each other's hair at school tomorrow?
Am I gonna perm his hair at school?
No,
Maybe.
Can we cut each other's hair at school?
That's not maybe your guys' demo tomorrow.
What can I do tomorrow?
What? Donovan, you want to catch the hands?
We're not doing Zoom tomorrow. So
What day though? Tomorrow's Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I guess we're done today. So I got everyone right. Okay. So good.
That's almost funny.
We'll take a picture of Miss Becky's hair and take a picture of the ones that aren't going to be in school tomorrow, so you can see what it looks like done, the color and all that. If not, you guys can see her tomorrow, the ones that are going to be here tomorrow. Okay, so ROPs, you guys have your assignments, right? Miss Sue gave them all to you. Should be on the text message. You should all have your assignments to finish out.
Do I still gotta do that follicle assignment?
Just take a picture of your head.
Cheers to a good day at class today.
Take a picture of the
It
top.
looks fuzzy unless I get a picture on the internet.
Who cares? Who cares? You did it. You want credit, you're gonna do it.
Oh, I thought you said you were gonna give me the credit.
You want credit, you're gonna do it. If you don't do it, you don't get credit. Then you don't get your full 6 or full however many hours you were on Zoom. So that's up to you. You want your hours,
Okay.
do it.
All right. So we good? We done?
Well, you want your hours, you do it. If you don't want your hours, don't do it. I don't know how else to tell it to you. Just do it.
Okay,
All
Miss Connie.
So about 15 minutes. I'll let you guys go early today. So you guys have to be safe, and some of you I'll see tomorrow. Some of you I'll see next week.
Bye, Miss Connie.
You too, Miss Connie. Bye.
Assignment for ROPs, your packet and all the other things in your packet. Miss Sue talked about that yesterday. Were you on yesterday?
So for the RP, it's just like packet work, but is there like any other specific work?
Let me get Miss Sue.
I don't know the assignment because I haven't been doing on Zoom for a while.
Who's that?
Me, Sharp. Yeah, I had a crazy thing with my family and I haven't been on Zoom for a while, so I don't even know what the assignments or the the assignments or what to do.
Okay, let me go get Miss Sue. She'll fill you guys in.
Thank you. Okay.
Where did I throw my glasses to help you?
Huh?
I threw my glasses.
It's on your head.
Did you find my stuff?
What's the?
My bra for my face.
Okay, hold on.
Let me figure out my stuff.
She did it. Hmm?
Okay.
You're lucky, you only get one assignment.
No, they have their other stuff in here.
Okay, but they have to
Okay.
take a picture.
So if you were on the 1 o'clock theory, your assignment for that is to take a picture of your.
You're breaking.
Can you repeat that, Miss Connie?
Say that again.
Miss Connie,
You was breaking.
repeat it.
Oh Lord.
Miss Connie, repeat it. Hey!
And text it in at the 52620.
Connie, we can't understand you.
Oh
You
my
have no
God.
service. You have no service in the break room. That's why.
Apparently not today, anyway.
Don't bite your nails.
Okay, so, yeah, come on, Miss Sue, come talk.
Hi, guys.
I like your hair. Bye.
Later.
So, if you were on the 1 o'clock theory, what she wants you to do is just take a picture of your hair follicle. So just like your scalp up here, take a picture of it and blow it up and see if you can see what shape it is.
We
And
did that
just-
yesterday though, so we do it again today.
No, this is just for the week. I didn't know if you were on there. Okay, so today, she didn't give you one today, so you don't have anything. You're lucky for that. But what you should be doing for the week is, oh, where'd it go? Here. For the week, you should be making sure you're using your tracking tool, clocking in and out, or texting in saying, hey, I'm starting and I'm ending, so that you're learning. Chapter 7, define your terms and do your SMART notes. Watch the video for 9:15 and 9:16 on the YouTube. Practice partings and scalp treatments on family members or mannequin heads, taking a picture of it and send it in on ZipWhip. And then
That sounds like way too much work.
we go to school tomorrow and we weren't even talking to you.
Better not be.
I got more work for you tomorrow, don't you worry.
Miss Connie?
Listen up, please. Some of you are not returning your packets, the ones that I handed out. So if you do not return them, you're not getting 27 and a half hours. You're getting the 4 hours that you're only on Zoom, 2 hours a day. Do you understand? So you're compared, that's 4 hours compared to 27 and a half hours. So some of you, if you do not return that packet by tomorrow, I cannot give you your full hours. You will not get your credit, and therefore you will not get all your credit that you need for high school. Okay?
Can I pick up a packet today?
Well, you didn't pick one up last week? Who are you?
Charlene.
Charlene.
Oh, no,
You're Pivot Point, so
this
yeah.
is just for the ones that cannot get on lab.
You have access.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some new RFPs. Make sure you get down here to get a packet, okay?
Yeah. So the day students, you guys have different step. We already talked to you guys. Already got that last week. So if you're a day student, this doesn't even apply to you. If you're a nighttime Pivot Point student, just go on your lab and do your chapter 7, SMART notes, key terms, all of the things that are on chapter 7. Practice the scalp treatments and partings on your doll. Parting sections, like 4 sections, 6 sections, that type of thing. If you're ROP students, then you have your packets to do and just do those packets. But make sure, please make sure that you're clocking in and out by using the lab tracking tool on Pivot Point or texting in and saying, hey, I'm starting now, because I know the RPs, you don't have the lab tracking tool. So just text us, hey, I'm starting now. Hey, I finished for the day, after your 5 hours are up, and then that way you can just.
So this parting and scalp treatment stuff that you just assigned, that's for somebody else, right? 'Cause I don't...
Yeah, you're in phase 1, so you don't have that. You have the nails.
All right.
Yeah, the day students each have something, the classes have a couple different things going on. So day students will have that. I know phase one, you have nails. So you'll have your nail assignments up tomorrow for the week for next Monday and Tuesday.
See that?
Okay, so we got,
You're weak.
Whatever.